You a Star Wars fan? Because you'll be amazed at number one, that a lot of women might be into the shit that you're into, but you're so worried about her judging you that you don't give it half a chance. But also some of the things that you're not into, you'll be amazed at how women would want to get into it because they want to get closer to you.
A lot of times they say shit like, "Oh, I'm free on weekends," or "I'm usually free on Thursdays," or whatever the hell. So if it makes sense, then I schedule a date.
If she really liked you from the get-go, there would be no reward system you would have to look for to do anything for, right? Because it would automatically be there, And I like to do this in conversation sometimes. When you're speaking with somebody and you'll hear a girl say something like, "I'll never do this," or "I don't like this," or "I don't like that." And then you'll notice, you'll say, "Nah, I kind of like it. I like it when blah, blah." And she's like, well, yeah, when you say it like that, I like it, and it's just kind of like, yeah, you switched up awfully fast for somebody that just really said they don't like something. And so, there's always been clues out there for fellas to understand, like, yo, if they really like you, they will change their whole political party.
They're not giving her real instruction. They're not letting her know what it really is. And most dudes don't do it. Most dudes don't say what it is because they're afraid to hear no, or they're afraid to bring up sex too early and all of this and all of that. But the bottom line is this. Either, again, and somebody said it, either she's feeling you or she's not. You understand? Either she's feeling you or she's not. We got to stop all this nonsense, man. Guys are too afraid to hear no, and it's like I'd rather hear no than to waste 2, 3, 4 dates and time spent, money spent, and all this other shit just to find out that you wasn't feeling me any damn way. You see what I'm saying? But so with me, first date is cool. If you don't want to do it on the first date, no problem. You could be on your period or whatever it is. There's a lot of things that could be off on the first date, right? It doesn't matter. But second date, you gotta know what it
is. For me, I like exclusive vagina to me. And that's because I don't want to catch nothing to have my later years messed up. And I like to stroke without no condom on. It feels great.
No.
So I like you.
So you like to be hugged by the sugar walls. You like to be hugged.
Yeah. I like that velvet, plush velvet. The smoothness. So,
but even then, J. Roman, I hear you.
He don't get up for nothing. You understand what I'm saying? So, and the reason is because he has to conserve his energy to do 3 full workouts a day up until his competition date. You understand? So when he's in season, he literally just works out as hard as he can. Then he sits on the couch and his wife brings him everything. The only thing she don't do is fucking piss for him, right? So what I'm saying is, it's one thing to have a wife that does it, because you said earlier, these were the words you used. You said a woman who says, "Oh, I rock with this dude, so I don't mind doing this." But see, it's a difference between a woman who doesn't mind and a woman who cheerfully wants to do it. Understand the position of a simp. Make sure you understand the position of a friend zone nigga. Make sure you understand that a man doesn't do anything for nothing. You understand? So run the game, be careful, and do what you got to do.
Mm-hmm. And that's the right there, J. Roman. And that's the problem. Your main chick should always be prioritized over all the new chicks. Right? The new chicks should not get preferential treatment. Right? So what would make it difficult for a lot of women is if you're giving girlfriend treatment to the new chick. Right? So this is why when you very first meet women, you have to establish boundaries and parameters where they got to earn everything. So that way, when the main chick is with you and she knows you're dealing with new women, she knows they have to go through the gauntlet too. They just don't get shit quicker. Like
streets be the maze. Hosts on the mic, carry case set in the blaze. Sagging, Miles Cunham with the game so tight. J. Roman lit the torch, keeping it right. Manhood's the challenge, skill set to master. In a world moving fast, gotta move faster. Trap beat, pounding 808, shake the floor. Guided by the host, wisdom like law. Harry K drops jewels, the crowd enthralled. Words cut deep, no need for brawls. Miles Cunningham, tactics sharp like a dagger. Navigates the game, makes the haters stagger. Journey to manhood, no easy feat. Lessons from the masters, words concrete. J. Roman with the keys, opens the door. Manhood's the path, gotta crave for more. Manhood's the challenge, skill set to master. In a world moving fast, gotta move faster. Trap beat, pounding 808, shake the floor. Guided by the host, wisdom like law.
Yeah.
We are back at it.
Yes, sir. What's going on with you, man?
We are back at it. Let's get it. What's good with you, Miles?
Hey, man, just living, man, just doing the thing, making it happen, selling this masculine identity eau de parfum on CunninghamElements.com. Make sure you go get your perfume. Well, not your perfume, but your eau de parfum. You know what I'm saying? That's the highest concentration of fragrance in the formula. You know what I'm saying? And then below that is your colognes and your eau de toilettes. You feel me? So, yeah, man. But what's going on with you?
My nigga is a fragrance connoisseur. My nigga Miles got his PhD and smell good.
Yes, sir.
I love it.
Yes,
but
sir.
You got the soaps going, and you got the shea butter for the skin. So it's just it all fits together because it all are things that go on your skin that enhance the aroma of your sex appeal and your masculine identity.
Real
Yo,
talk.
man, Miles, I know you feeling this motherfucking title, nigga. I know you are, dog.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. It's similar to the Zoom call that we did last week. I was talking about being comfortable in your masculine identity when you attract and approach women, because a lot of guys just because an approach or just because they encounter a woman that's not feeling them, they feel like they gotta change everything. You know, like, maybe I got to act like a different person. Maybe I got to be somebody else, you know, and it's crazy.
And you ain't got to do all that. And shout out to the lovely, incomparable Jazzy Jazz in the building.
Jazzy
Appreciate
Jazz.
you. So, what are we talking about today? Can you attract women without sacrificing your identity?
Facts.
Now,
that's the whole point.
The game is going to get deep today because I want to get at something, and for all the ladies in attendance, you know, whether or not you're participating in a live chat or if you're just a fly on the wall, welcome. But ladies, I'm going to say some things, and I want you to think about some of the things that you guys require of men. You're actually asking them to compromise their identity. And what happens is when he compromises his identity to get you, he can't be consistent with what he's compromising because it ain't him. So at some point, when he gets settled into the relationship, the real him, the him you kind of asked him to hide, even though you didn't understand you were asking them to hide it. And we're going to get into how you do it, how y'all do without even understanding, Miles. I know you already know.
Right.
And then guys do it. And it's like two individuals who are lost in the dark and nobody got a light.
Exactly.
Right. And this is what happens when you follow women. And I say this, the same things that women ask for, they later despise in a man.
Facts.
Without even realizing it.
Facts.
We gonna get into this shit. It's going like get your crayons out. Shout out to Steve. Get them motherfuckers out. You know what I'm saying? Because hey, look, it's gonna get heavy. Shout out to Elves. I know he like to use that word heavy. It's gonna get that, right?
Yeah.
Right. So the call-in line is open 1-844-672-7300. Right. Call in now.
Yes, sir. Phone lines are open. Go ahead and call in, guys.
Yeah, yep. So let me find my little banners and shit, because I want to talk about some shit, right? Hold on, bro. Is this the right one right here? Yeah, I want to make sure. Now, I was talking about compromise earlier. This is why I don't like compromise. What up, Justin? How you doing, fam?
Hey, doing all right,
Just
but
in the building. What's up?
what's going on, fellas? Yeah, I'm having like crazy delays, so I need to restart my machine. I'll be back in just a minute.
Okay.
Damn, now I know what it's like to be on the other side, looking at him freezing. Let me stop. And it's gonna happen to me at some point during this motherfucking live stream. Let me shut the fuck up. Knock on wood. Okay, so I want to throw this up there, and I want guys to think about it. Self-compromise is the relationship with yourself and where you act against your own wishes, intentions, and priorities. A big one is allowing a woman to make you wait for sex. That's a big one. That's a big one in self-compromise. Because if you are a sexual man and you enjoy getting it in, and that's your lifestyle, you indulge in casual sex encounters. And then you meet this woman, and simply because she tells you, I ain't that kind of girl, you got to date me first, and all these other things that she might say, you say, you know what? She's different. And then you let her get her off of you. And then you self-compromise the relationship with yourself because you think that what she got going on is more important than what you got going on. So you literally put you on the back burner and put her at the forefront. Go ahead, Miles. You want to speak to that?
Yeah, well, the bottom line is to never follow a chick. The bottom line is to follow yourself. But the problem with so many guys, and this is why we exist. This is why we do what we do, right? We're here for like, it's like operators are standing by, right? It's like we're here to remind you that you got to be yourself. We're here to remind you that who you are is good enough. We're here to remind you that just because you desire a woman doesn't make her special. You understand? A lot it's like when what we desire is not special. Just because we desire it doesn't mean it's special. You understand? Like I desire to one day, drive a Lamborghini, right? Owned and paid for, right? I desire that. But does that make a Lamborghini special? You understand? Like it's a car. Yep. What really makes what's really special is the experience. You understand? The experience of me driving, because I'm a driver. I love to drive. And
the journey that it took for you to get to the point to get it.
Exactly, right? But is the Lamborghini special per se? No, it's not. It's just metal, plastics, and it's just, what I'm saying? Like, it's just a material thing, right? Yeah. So the thing is, I need guys to remember that just because we desire something doesn't make it special. And then on top of that, it doesn't make it special to the point where we have to sacrifice or change or compromise who we are in the process of getting it. Because here's the thing, even if we're talking about desiring a Lamborghini, right? Do I want to do something that is not me to actually get it? Like do I once I go to the to the dealership or wherever or whoever or wherever I'm buying it from, do I want to put on clown makeup and do a dance for them to sell me the fucking car? You get what I'm saying? Now, and I only use the example of putting on clown makeup and doing a dance because I'm trying to keep it, light. But we know, like for example, in Hollywood, people do much worse things. You understand what I'm saying? And so they change who they are. And what I'm saying is I would never put on the clown makeup and the clown suit and do a dance for the Lamborghini dealership guy. I would never do that. Because once I sit in the Lamborghini and I remember what I did to get the opportunity to buy it, I'm going to feel disgusted because it wasn't me. 401, you were on the Manhood is a Skill Set Show. Name, age, city. How can we help you?
Hey guys, this is Jordan from Boston, 29.
All right, what's going on, Jordan? How you doing?
What up?
Pretty good. Hope you guys are doing well. Appreciate y'all on the panel. I just had a quick question for you. So I got this girl's number at the bar last night, and I don't think I'm going to text her because I feel like she wasn't displaying enough interest.
Wait. Let's stop there. So prior to getting her number, did you express to her where your interests lie?
Well, she was sitting next to me at the bar.
No, bro. Okay, listen. I need you to listen. Okay, when I say, okay, think about it. Okay, now I'm gonna say something to you. Then I want you to think about the question. So let's say I walked up on a woman I was interested in, and I introduced myself. Right. Let's say her name is Tabitha, right? And I say, Tabitha, I said, look, I ain't even gonna hold you. Look, I got some availability this coming Friday. I would very much like for you and I to get together. There's a little spot that I frequent, this little jazz joint. The ambiance is dope. If you're interested, we can get together, let's say around 9. Then I wait for her response. And she says, okay, cool. Right. And then I say, well, look, here's my number. I'm gonna need you to give me a call the morning of and confirm whether or not you can still make it. I understand that shit comes up. Now, she knows exactly what I'm going to do, right? So when I give her my number, she knows why she's calling it. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I ask you again, did you express what you wanted to do?
Probably. Yeah, all she knows is that I wanted to grab a drink with her at another time. There's no other specification behind that. Like,
okay, so what did you expect her to do? Because you said she's not showing enough interest. What do you want her to do?
So she was with a gay best friend, right?
Oh God.
And her gay best friend was telling her, he's like, oh, you should grab his number. So when I was trying to get her number, she was like, I think my friend is more interested in you, to be honest. And I'm like, oh, so you're not.
I was just gonna say the same thing.
I don't know. She said, well, I don't know. And then I was like, all right, well, let me just grab your number and then we'll take it from there. But I don't think it's even worth hitting her up, right?
Okay. But you didn't say nothing. You never really took control of the conversation. She came to you and said, this guy that's eyeing you told me I should get your number, but I think it's for him. And you said, oh, I mean, I guess since we're talking, we may as well. You didn't really do nothing.
No. So before that, though, I expressed that I wanted to go out and grab drinks with her at some point because they were leaving, so they weren't sticking around.
Okay. So
was there any other kind of verbal interaction between the two of you?
That's what I'm saying. There has to be more.
Hello?
I mean, when I pulled up at the bar, I basically was like, I was just like, hey, can I just squeeze in here real quick and grab a drink?
Okay, no, caller. No, caller. Okay, hold on. And Justin, I think this might help us get to your question. Because you said something about you expressed interest in grabbing drinks later. Can you tell us what you said and what she said in response, verbatim, regarding that? Please.
Yeah, so I'm friendly with the bartender there. So the bartender.
No, bro, no. Just tell us what you said to the chick.
No, I'm getting into it. So she was just like, "Oh, shots," and I was like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Are you guys getting in on this? Like, what are you guys drinking?" And they're like, "Oh, we're drinking water. We're about to leave." So then that's when I was like, "All right, well, some other time, let's go grab drinks, me and you, 1-on-1."
Okay, so there wasn't much. I wanted to see what the time scale was there, like how the span of time where the two of you interacted, and it seems like it was very short. It sounds to me like you rolled up, you ordered shots. She was like, "Oh, shots," and then you said, "Hey, yeah, you want to get in on this?" And then there was the information, made clear that she was just on her way out. And then you took that moment to say, "Hey, let's do this another time. Take my number, or let me get your number." Does that sound about right?
Right.
Okay. Right. So the lack of interest there is from there's no meat, right? There was nothing in the situation to create. There was no savoriness in the communication.
Yeah.
Right. And that is just situational. it was just bad timing. You rolled up, she was on her way out. And so there was really no time to really produce any sort of communication that would inspire her a desire beyond, say, initial attraction, which is, fairly superficial anyways. So that I would say just chalk it up to situational, just bad timing, and forget about it. But I still would have said, take my number instead of asking for hers.
Yeah, I agree. I should have just offered mine.
But I want to say this. Caller. I would like to say this if I can. As soon as, I just want to replay it and make sure I got it right. She said to you that her gay friend seems interested.
She said more interested than she is. Yes.
Okay. Now listen. I could just be an old angry guy who can't take a joke. But as soon as a woman said something like that to me, my communication with her is over.
Yep.
I don't give two fucks about what else needs to happen. As soon as she says something like that to me, I am done.
What did she say?
Yeah.
Okay.
She said that she was sitting there with her gay best friend, and when he asks for the number or whatever, she says to him, "Oh, it seems like my gay friend is more interested in you than I am."
Right.
Yeah, there's nothing to talk about after that. Like, well, why are you even talking to her after that? Because, caller, this is what happened. The gay best friend sent her over there to get your number for him. That's what happened. I need you to understand.
It was situational. They just happened to be at the bar at the same time.
We were all sitting right there.
They was all sitting at the same time. Yeah.
Okay, but regardless of that, she's not interested in you. Period. Just move on.
Yeah, drop it.
Okay. I thought that was the case, but I wanted to get confirmation from you guys. It's not worth my time, and there's nothing there.
Yeah, I mean, but the situation itself warranted keep it moving. I mean, the situation itself showed you that there was nothing there, and you said it just in meat. There was no meat to say, all right, this is a situation where I can sense that we mutually and genuinely want to press it forward or want to take it somewhere. No, it wasn't that. It was just like
that's why it's always good to. That's why it's always good to give your number, because that gives you clear indication, right? It's a very subtle way to gain a lot of information, because if she's really interested in you, she's going to use it. Right. If you have her number, you have no idea what's going on inside her head. Yeah. And a lot of girls, because they're nice and they avoid hurting feelings and that sort of stuff, they'll give you the number. They will even answer text messages and shit like that. They'll carry on because they a lot of times don't like to hurt feelings. So it's just best to just give your number and let it play out that way.
And to your point, it takes more for a woman to call you than to receive a call from you. Now, but I got to caution guys though. Just because a woman calls you doesn't mean anything is guaranteed. On the flip side of that, I will also say this. For a woman to call you, there has to be some type of incentive for her to call you. So you just can't roll up on a chick, hey, my name is such and such. What's your name? Hey, Jessica, here's my number. Call me sometime. Now, if a woman is instantaneously attracted to you, that can probably work. But for most women, just saying that and just dipping off, that ain't going to really, do anything. But y'all got it.
Yeah, I got you.
Caller, let me ask you real quick. No, hold on, caller. How hot was she, bro?
She was cute. I wouldn't say she was hot. She's all right, dude.
She was all right.
Special, so just like you guys were just talking. Just because I was desiring her in the moment doesn't make her special. So I mean, what does it matter?
No, but it matters enough for you to call today. It matters enough for the fact that you've been thinking about it since last night when you met her. It matters that even though she tried to put her fucking gay friend in your face,
I would have been offended.
Still allowed her to take up space in your fucking brain, things like I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just a old-fashioned misogynistic, chauvinistic pig. But if a bitch say some shit like that to me, I am done, because that's an insult to my whole situation. What the fuck are you talking about? Your gay best friend got more interest in me. I don't give a fuck about that, dude. Like that type of shit feels it to me it reeks of super disrespect, because I don't give a fuck about the fact that it's 2025 and we're accepting of all everybody else's lifestyles and rainbows and cotton candy. That shit, I'm trying to holler at you, man to woman, and you telling me about some
Right.
Come on, bro. Like
I feel you, Miles. I feel you 100%, fam. I feel you, brother.
That's valid. I agree with you, but I just want to make sure I'm perceiving this correctly and I'm not.
But you're over analyzing it. Okay, guys, real quick. Let me just say this. A rule of thumb, and this is very, very simple, right? And the real reason why you're second guessing yourself is because you didn't assert yourself in a situation. Here's the thing: whenever you interact with a woman and you walk away from that interaction, you should know beyond a shadow of a doubt, I said everything I wanted to say to that chick. Whether she hit me up or not is inconsequential. It doesn't matter. But when you walk away and you're second guessing yourself, that means you know there's holes in that interaction. That means you know you could have communicated yourself better and you didn't, and now you're left wondering, damn, what could I have said? Never leave the conversation that way.
Was this earlier in the night?
I was probably like around like 11.
Okay, so
I'm in Boston though, so everything closes at like 1. So I mean, later in the night.
So I will say this: I didn't hear the whole story. I'm kind of piecing it a little bit together. One thing I think you did good was, you spoke right then in the moment. But the interaction should have woke you up. We call that a warm up. Like, I wouldn't be thinking about that past the second the last word came out my mouth.
Right. Facts.
And sometimes you have those kind of like warm up interactions when you go out. We used to have those where we used to just start speaking to everybody we met at the gas station, pumping gas, if I knew I was buying a new shirt to go out, I'm warming that mouthpiece up from the very beginning. I'm speaking to everybody, and not to get everybody's number, but just, saying to get comfortable, really just talking and, doing what I do. So at that moment, when she left and you didn't feel the way you felt, it should have woke you up and say, you know what? I'm doing a little too much out here, or I'm saying a little too much, or I should be doing something a little different. And that's it. So, some dudes would have just looked at her, stared at her without even speaking. You spoke, you warmed the mouthpiece up and you just move on. You don't really think about that again, besides what could I say, that I'm not representing myself the way I, normally do. But that's it. You understand what I'm saying, caller? Like,
yeah, 100%.
Like this one passed. Like, why are you thinking about something that passed? You can't change nothing about it. It's done. Finito. You learn from any interaction you have, good or bad, and boom, I'm on to the next.
Right. Yeah, 100%, man. I think at the end of the day, I just need some coaching, bro. You know what I mean? So I'm glad I called in. Thank you guys for your help.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna get with one of y'all on the back end and get some coaching, man.
Yeah,
it's real valuable for me. So thank you guys.
Yeah, appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you, man. Good call. Thanks for sharing your story. Shout out to Joe Blast with the $5 super chat. He said, "Fact Zag, you got to say what you need to say." Yeah, and that's important, caller. Say everything you need to say. Yep. Say everything you want to say. And keep practicing, keep rehearsing, keep doing your thing. But I'm just letting you know how I am personally. Chicks say some shit like some gay shit to me. Like, I don't look. Everybody is free to live their life, but no, get the fuck out of here with that. But that's just me, bro. But we appreciate you, brother. Take it easy.
And,
all right?
And Miles, real talk though, real talk. You're establishing a boundary with that shit.
Yeah.
Like we don't even talk to me like that about that kind of shit.
Yeah, because the next thing a lot of people love to play that politically correct shit, right? And be on. He might. I'm just saying. I'm just using my imagination, right? But let's just say he was like, "Oh, really? You think so? Oh, that's cool." And then later, let's just say he did give her the number. Next thing you know, he's getting a call from the fucking dude. And they're over there at her house kikiing, and she kikiing in the background. Oh, did you call him? What did he say? Did he was he surprised when he called you? Was he surprised when you called him?
I'll take another step further, Miles. You don't know their
Yeah, bro.
dynamic
See, that's what I'm saying.
relationship. Maybe every dude she tried to get with, her gay best friend tries to steal.
You see what I'm saying? All that type of shit.
And so you don't know if she's like, "Hey, my best friend," to see how he reacts, because his reaction might determine, like, "Nah, I ain't going through this again." You know, because when we did come in, he did agree. You,
Miles.
You know, so you never know the dynamics. That's why, like Justin said, I'm a big component in giving you my number here.
Mm-hmm.
You can think about it later on. Yeah. You and your friends can make all the jokes, but when you call me later on, you know, when it's just you thinking about your night and you hit me up, then that's something different.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know
what? I think more guys.
Dynamics.
Real quick, I think more guys should get used to giving their number to women, because when you are giving your number to a woman and instructing her to call you versus asking for her number, it's a whole different dynamic, right? The conversation should be different, because when you talk to the woman, now you have to provide her an incentive to call you. Why should she call you? Out of all the shit she got to do, why the fuck would she call you? Now, this is what I will say though. I don't think you should be expecting a call from women. When you give your number, you need to act like that woman don't exist.
Never.
And if she calls you, cool. If she don't, cool. But the problem with a lot of you guys, you'll give your number to a woman, and every time it pings, you'll be jumping up, seeing if it's her. Y'all got
Fact. So you got 224. You are on live with the Manhood Skill Set Show. We got your host K Zag, we got J Roman, we got Mr. Justin, and we got Miles. Name, age, city. How can we help you?
Yeah, Emmanuel Jacks 24.
All right.
Yeah, so my question is, so I'm seeing here a lot of award events, and I'm just wondering for you guys, what is the best things I can do to prepare for war?
What events?
Repeat the question again.
You say world?
What are the best things I can do to be prepared for war?
For war?
Yes.
Join the military.
Bro. This ain't the channel. This ain't the channel.
What?
This ain't this.
Wait, caller. Give us the scenario that you're looking to be prepared for. Like,
is this like war or is this war?
Yeah. So no, like. So what I'm saying is, like, you know, the whole events with Iran and Israel. And obviously, there's some things there that expand out to more than just those two places, which the United States have some form of involvement, which means that there's other countries.
Yeah. Okay. So real quick. This is not a political channel. We're not going to get into any of that.
No,
at all.
If you want to prepare for war,
I'm just saying
join the military.
I'm just saying it. No, I have a career already, but I'm saying is in the case that I need to be able to protect my family. What are some things?
Okay. Caller. All you got to do is get a gun license, get some gun training, and arm yourself.
Stockpile that shit.
And that's all you got to do, bro. I mean, beyond that,
MREs, survival gear, water.
Walmart.
Water purification tablets, like a generator,
dried food and fruit.
Yeah, that's what I mean. MREs. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, there you go.
That's MRE. But Walmart sells a whole dry food kit. It comes in 2 buckets.
There you go.
2 big red buckets. They got a lot of food.
Get you some outdoor shit. A couple of tents and shit like that. Sleeping bags. Chairs.
I'm gonna be honest with you, caller. You know, when shit goes down, it's gonna go down, and being prepared is only gonna be prepared for so long.
Well, I mean, realistically,
and then on top of that, you should already have a certain balance. I believe in balance, so I'm stocked up to a certain degree, but you know.
Well, realistically, I don't see anything happen anytime soon. Some of us are going to be long gone before anything happens. I mean, never say never, but I don't think people should have a doom or gloom outlook on life. Live your life, fam. If something do happen, like everyone is saying, just be prepared as much as you can, bro. That's all you can do.
And if you're in a major city, you're basically fucked anyways.
Yeah. If you're in New York,
I'm in New York City. If shit goes down here, we are all screwed. It is going to be
It's happening there first.
Mayhem.
But
So
this preparedness though should happen no matter what's happening in any other country. Like I'm not prepared because of an incident around the world. I'm just prepared because I'm a man with a family. So
exactly,
if COVID didn't teach a lot of people stuff, like people go crazy and they storm the grocery stores just for toilet tissue and stuff like that. Like that's the last thing I need to stock up on. There's water. I go hop in the shower. That's the ultimate thing.
And let me just say this real quick. Let me just say this.
Hold on a second, Zach. So like it shouldn't make an event happening around the world for you to be balanced. If you're a guy, you should have a certain amount of balance and certain amount of preparation just because.
Yeah, so I just never learned exactly what I should do in situations like that where maybe things are not as peaceful as they are,
Bro, you got to understand, not every man has had someone sit them down and give them a list of survival, one through some shit. You just got to understand as a man, like Jay Roman said, when it comes to protecting your family, like some things are just common sense, like things you can do within reason, but also it's a money thing. Like a lot of people can't afford, a survival preparation. A lot of people can't afford that shit. Yeah, they might get a gun or two, but when you talking about like really being prepared to survive some shit, a lot of people they fucked. I mean, if you want to be honest,
if you live in a place where you can't build your own basement and all this other stuff, you just everybody ain't got land like that. Everybody ain't got their geographics of where they live at where they can do that. So you do what you can do, and that's it. But the thing is, because it's a balance in my mind, it's nothing I worry about though. It doesn't affect me going out and then still enjoying this life and still preparing for the future.
Are you worried, caller?
No, I'm not worried. I just know that in the event, because I like there's no men in my household, that in the event that something does pop off, I'm gonna be the one that has to take charge.
Okay.
Well, you should already have had the mindset of take charge. Yeah, you should already be. How old are you again?
23.
Do you live with your mom or something like that?
Yeah, I just graduated college.
Okay, that's why you asking. Okay, all right, that makes sense. All right, that's why. Okay, no, like and Jay Roman said it. You can't really be worried about what's going on in the Middle East. Now, this is what I will say: always be abreast of current events. Always be in the know. I always know what's going on, right? So always know what's going on. So when something does happen, you're not like, what the fuck? You kind of know, but at the same time, what's going on over there really does not impact you directly. It might impact the world stage indirectly, but it has no direct impact on your day-to-day life. So, but if something happened in your city, then that's different.
Right. So I would just tell you, man, simple things, but you should have this period. There's a difference between a first aid kit and a trauma kit. You want to get both of them. And this is just not because of any world event, just because around the house, any accident, anything that could happen, you want to be prepared for the, EMTs or the medics to get there. Then you can go to Walmart or go to whatever stores you got and see what type of dry food they have, survival sort of food.
You can actually Google that shit. You can actually Google survival tips.
Get that from there and then stock up on stuff to protect you. But really, that's unless you digging a hole and fortifying it and ventilation and millions of dollars.
You're at the mercy of whatever happens like everybody else, bro. You're at the mercy of whatever happens like everybody else, bro. But look, we got to move on with the show, caller, man. We got to get back on track with the topic at hand. We appreciate you calling. You can Google survival tips and get some information if you need to.
All right, thank you, guys.
All right, take it easy, bro. All righty.
Are we good on calls, Miles?
Yeah, we good. We good on calls.
Okay, real quick, guys, if y'all have a question, please put a Q in the chat followed by your question. I would highly suggest that you do that shit right now. Right? 1-844-672-7300 is the call-in number. You have myself, Jay Roman, Miles Cunningham, and Mr. Justin. Before we continue, let's get back to the title. Can you attract women without sacrificing your identity? Justin. When you
oh yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
I was just going to ask you this real quick question. When you do consultations, how often do you run into men that have an identity crisis?
100% of the time.
Mm.
And that's every
You
single
got it.
person. No, that's every single person that I speak with. Everyone. Because it's just part of the fundamental human condition, right? Like we think we are what we are, and we're not actually that. And it's just a process of kind of peeling back layers, and it takes time. Like I've got this one guy just now, after a little over a year, 14 months of working with me, speaking every single week, doing homework. He's now coming to an understanding that he is who he is, and it's completely shifted his life. It's shifted his relationship. Like he gets it, that like how impactful his presence is on himself and his relationship. So it just takes time. Now that's not the average, but it's just something to note. But I did want to say something about the whole numbers thing. And what I see is what is the thing of exchanging phone numbers? What you're doing is you're opening a pathway. And so when you're asking to the woman, you're saying, can I have access to the pathway of communication to you? Versus, here's an offering of the pathway of communication to me. And those are largely very, very different lines of communication that you're expressing to her.
Yes.
And so I just think it's much better to just lay that offering, because I don't want anything from her. Right now, granted, I'm in a totally different place than like the average guy. I get that, right? You guys very much want women for one reason or another, on one degree of sexual desire usually, but I don't even want that. Like, I don't want anything from her. Okay. I'm just getting a sense of curiosity at this point. That's the only thing that's for free. And I'm saying, okay, you have my curiosity. Now here's an offering of a pathway to me so that I can assess more. And that's it. That's the only thing. That's the absolute only thing. It's the bare minimums. And then it's just a matter of, is she adaptable to, what I have going on? And that's it.
See, right there. And I don't think guys understand the difference between you basically letting a woman understand, hey, I'm giving you an opportunity. Like you said, a pathway to communication. If you want to holler at me, utilize that number. And I've told women, utilize that number, right? A lot of you guys, when you ask for a woman's number, you look at it as a victory of sorts. I got the number. Didn't get rejected. She didn't say no. So a lot of you guys, you have false confidence just based on that, right? Because even now, you have grown men on the internet who really think getting a woman's number means something. Like, bro, that's high school shit. Like, that's high school shit. Like, everybody knows it means nothing. Now, let me just say this real quick. Can you attract women without sacrificing your identity? A lot of guys don't know who they are. A lot of you guys don't even know who you are. A lot of you guys' identity has been cultivated from society telling you what you're supposed to do.
Well, I would say wanting to attract women in the first place shows that you have an identity problem. Like if you even have that desire right to begin with, that means that you've got a problem.
Can you say that again, sir, please?
Oh, just the question, like, can you attract? That implies that there is a desire to attract women. If you have the desire to attract women, you already have an identity problem.
There you go.
They should just be wanting to get with you. Like, that's their problem. Like, that's like a woman's problem.
There you go. Go ahead, Miles. Pass it to you.
No, that's that's real talk. That's real talk. That's pretty interesting too, because most guys, they like with this whole thing about going out and meeting women. most guys are not going to think of it that way, right? Most guys are thinking, well, I have to attract, I have to, they don't realize that they are the opportunity, right? And they're giving women an opportunity. They don't look at it that way, because again, whatever they desire becomes the special thing, right? And so they pedestal the women. They don't, and because they pedestal the women, because they make them out to be special, it automatically makes them unattractive. You understand? And so it's the mindset that a lot of guys cannot realize, that puts them in a difficult position. So when they go out and meet women, when they go out and talk to women, they're already putting themselves in a compromised position. And so, I'll say this, because compromise and sacrifice, I believe that men sacrifice. I believe that females compromise, right? And, and what I mean by that is that, as a man, you should be all or nothing. You should be very binary with things. Like, it's yes or no, up, down, left, right, right? There's no gray area. So I think if you're going to sacrifice who you are, because here's the thing with sacrifice. Once you make the decision to sacrifice, you can't really come back from it. I think that's the meaning of sacrifice, like to literally give up something and do without it. Right. And shout out to William Kahn for the $10 super chat. He says, salute to the panel for dropping a lot of gems, cheap coffee for everyone. Right. When you sacrifice, that means you are willing to go without.
I don't drink cheap coffee.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So I think the question in a lot of ways should be, can you attract women without compromising your identity? Right, because compromise means that you're bending and you're flexible and you change and you do all of this and you do all of that. But
that would have been a better title. I might have to change this shit after the live stream. Go ahead, fam.
Sacrifice is a lot more masculine, because you're really giving something up. You're not, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no coming back from sacrifice, because the original meaning of the term, like biblically, is when if you sacrifice the goat to give offering to God and all that, you can't, after you kill the goat, you can't bring it back. You understand what I'm saying? So again, sacrifice is like a finite thing. And so let's just say you're willing to sacrifice like some guys have looks, money, and status, right? So let's just say you're willing to sacrifice your status. Like, it's like, well, you know what? I'm not going to be a club promoter anymore. I'm not going to, involve myself in telling women about this part of my status or whatever. And you totally leave that part alone. Then I think it can work for you in different ways, right? If you're willing to sacrifice for real.
Miles, you know what? If you think about it, just being a leader is a sacrificial position. Just being a leader, because in order to lead, you have to be of service.
Yeah.
So you have to sacrifice your ego and your pride to be of service to others. So just being a leader as a man is a sacrificial position. But a lot of guys, they're not leaders, right? And what happens is when they meet women, because they're so attracted to women, they relinquish their power and they give it to the woman. So when they relinquish the power to the woman, that's them compromising their identity, right? I've often said this. I firmly believe that men are natural born leaders. It doesn't mean that you're going to be a leader just because you got a dick. That's not what I mean by that. What I mean by natural born leaders mean you are meant to lead.
It's within you.
Now,
right?
It's within you. Now, your upbringing can hinder your journey to being a leader you're supposed to be. But your childhood is no excuse for you being a failed leader, though. Don't use your childhood as no excuse.
Right.
I think that Justin said some advanced class things, and I'm going to break it down a little bit for the people. It's like, what you want me to attract men? What you mean? If I attract women, there is, what we talking about here? Like, no, I like women, man. I want to attract women.
Right.
And I don't think they really understand. It should be a byproduct of who you are,
Right.
the type of women you attract. So the thing is, if you're working on you and building you up to be the best version of the man that you believe in your head, the byproduct of that is you will always attract the women that work with you. You may not attract every woman, but the byproduct of you building yourself up to who you are, the man you want to be, is you'll attract women attracted to that. But if you try to build for the byproduct, you're no longer building you. You're just trying to build the byproduct. So you can't cheat it. So every time you try to cheat building yourself up to be the man that you be, and you're working on building it up for the byproduct, that attraction of women, now you're no longer working on yourself.
Right.
And I think that's the thing, that a lot of guys, they're always in this in-between stage where they seem like they're almost there, but they look at the byproducts like, I was working on me for the byproduct. Well, then you really weren't working on you. Because when you're working on you, you will always get that byproduct. You will always, the attraction is always going to be there, because women love men that seem like they don't care about them and is just living life great without needing any of them. And they realize that. They can sense it. They can smell it. Oh, that guy doesn't need me. Why the fuck?
Well, not only that, but when you have your shit together, and guys, let me just say, shit together is not about being wealthy, right? You know what I'm saying? Having your shit together literally means that you are a man with your shit together. You stand on your own too. You handle your business. Just that's going to be attractive to women. And to all you guys' point, and Mr. Justin did make a great point about, can you attract? And so shout out to the homie Miles. He made a great point about sacrifice and maybe compromise should be there. And I agree to both points. The problem with guys, and the reason why guys are so frustrated with women, is because they bought into the lie of acquiring things to get women to notice them.
Right.
Oh, I have to get this degree so I can make X amount of dollars to get this job, and then I'll get women, or all I got to do is be a law-abiding citizen, put God first, and be a good man, feed the homeless, and then bam, everything would just work out. But nobody told y'all about the complexities of sexual attraction and how a woman got to actually desire you, right? Nobody told guys that. So a lot of guys, and shout out to Lakar, because I know he talks about things on a material plane. A lot of guys, when they think about acquiring women or attracting women, they think about it materially. I have to look a certain way. I have to, my hair, my beard, I have to dress a certain way, wear these clothes, wear jewels. I have to drive a certain car, live in a certain neighborhood, shop at a certain grocery store. All of these different things that guys are doing to try to be more attractive to women, but nobody ever learned on how to be a man, how to work on themselves, their identity. They never learned who they were, because a lot of guys, they think who they are is about what they do for a living. That's what they think. Who I am is what I do for a living. Y'all got it.
Yeah, there's the angle I was coming at was more of a longer time frame with a larger scope, because you're always going to come across, like, in the beginning, you're not going to know anything, and you just be like, oh yeah, I'm just like me. And then in the middle, you're like, oh, the things I do have an impact on how women interact with me. So then that's where a lot of your attention and focus goes, right? And then on like a longer time scale or a more advanced level, you realize that none of it actually matters. And, so there's like this old, like, I remember I was reading Bruce Lee's biography, and he said, in the beginning, a punch is just a punch and a kick is just a kick. As to an intermediate, a punch is more than a punch and a kick is more than a kick. And then to a master, a punch is just a punch and a kick is just a kick. Like, that's why Rosebud, he's like, it doesn't really matter. He's just, I want to hear what she has to say so I can just say what I have to say. But the guy who's in the middle, that's where you get these PUA guys who are like, oh, but you analyze this, and then you look at that, and then the angle, and then this, and then like all these details. And it's like, yeah, okay, like maybe they matter, but like when you advance past that, you realize it kind of doesn't. And it just really just comes down to just doing what you want to do. without any sort of weight on what comes of that. So you can tell if you're arrived, so to speak, is if when a woman does come into your field that you've allowed into your field of interaction, if you get excited, that shows you're not there yet. Like if you want to tell your friends, if you get happy, if you notice like just an emotional shift of like, ooh, a girl's here or girls are here, you're not there. Like you're still in intermediate stage, which is fine. It just shows though that you have more to progress.
Right.
Like you actually care about women's presence, and like that really shouldn't matter.
And when they had that attitude, to me, it seems like they live all their interactions not trying to fuck up. Right?
Yeah.
You know,
That's
don't
exactly
say
what they
the
do.
wrong thing.
Exactly.
I don't want to
That's
fuck up.
exactly what they do.
Like, you know, oh, I think she's attracted to me, so I'm trying to say as less as possible. I'm trying to do less of the wrong thing they perceive, just not to fuck up, so I can continue this interaction with her because I think she likes me.
Right.
Instead of just living on who
Instead
they
of just
are
living, being present in the
and
moment.
rolling with it like that. You know, it's just like, I'm not trying to fuck up. And I heard that advice sometimes somebody said one time, like, oh man, all right, now I mean she's into you. Now it's time, just, you know, just don't fuck up. Like, what does that mean? Like,
That's why, you know what, Jay? That's why when they call us and they say, I said this, and they say, what did I say wrong? And they immediately think, because they think words are the whole thing of the interaction. Like, what can I say? There's a lot of guys who literally think that just saying words can get women to give them pussy. It don't work like that. It doesn't work like that. There is no words, because you cannot predict for any woman what words would do it for her or what words wouldn't. You can't predict that for any woman. You don't know that woman, right? Bro, you can go up to a woman and you can say, I really don't like that hair color. That shit look kind of whack. But you cute though. And she want to fuck you. And has nothing to do with anything you said. It's just she it's just for whatever, it's just inexplicable. You can't explain it. She's just interested in you, right? Right. And I've said this. A woman could despise you, a woman could hate your guts, but still want to fuck you. A woman could literally not like you as a person, but still get turned on in your presence.
yeah, it happens.
So this notion that you can find something slick to say and any woman would just drop her draw, like, come on, man, be realistic. Y'all got it.
Guys, go ahead and call in 844-672-7300, 844-672-7300. Dr. Jay Bizzle for the $9.99 super chat. He says, to the realist. Yeah, man. So guys, go ahead and call in. We have any questions in there?
No questions. My bad. No questions. Okay. Y'all slipping today, man. Y'all better come with it. You know, we are hour in. We can end now. There we go. We got a question right there. Oh, here we go. But it's the only question, so here we go. Hold on real quick. I need to buy a new mouse. This shit ain't working. All right, it says, my girlfriend called me a narcissist because I refused to change for her. Now she doesn't talk to me. Okay. Congratulations. A woman who called you out of your name doesn't talk to you. Move on to the next woman. Yeah, y'all want to respond to that?
Yeah, it really doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
But the question of you asking, should I've done something else, is very telling, because that shows that your mindset is in the, I know you guys don't like the word frame, but it just has to do with the world perception that you're living in, which shows that you're living in her frame, right? Should I have done something else according to what? According to her perceptions, according to how she behaved, according to how she treated you, right? So that question alone, should I have done something else? It's with respect to her, which means you're living in her frame.
Right.
So that's actually more worth the investigation than what actually went down.
Yeah.
I don't, questions like this kind of always gets me a little bit, because are you saying no just to say no? Are you saying no because it's your personality of things and, she's asking you to do something ridiculous? Are you, being your own person doesn't mean that you're saying no because you got a group of friends that say you should say no, that you shouldn't do something, or, like, what if she's telling you that you need to wipe your ass a little more
No.
coming off of the toilet? Are we,
Oh no, I'm gonna tell
I'm
you
not
what it
gonna sit here
is.
and tell you that, hey, that's not a, you might want to change for her then, if you can't see the benefit for yourself, but is it something that, she just says all the time? Because when she gets to the point where you're actually calling her your girlfriend, there should be a lot of agreements and understanding that she has of you.
Well,
So,
and that should be there before that. Yeah, no doubt.
yeah. So to me, if she's actually bringing something up, and communicating something, I'm gonna take a look at it. Now, me taking a look at it, like I always say, like, hey, I'm always willing. I have a suggestion box for girlfriends, but that don't mean everything in the suggestion box is going to be taken, and come out your way. It's just the fact that you've earned the right to say a suggestion.
Yeah.
Now, I'll look at it and be like, nah, or you can look at it and say something. So, just don't say no to say no,
Yeah. Here's the thing, and I alluded to this earlier because he's talking about he refuses to change. And this is a common gripe of women. He won't change. He won't change. Ladies, I'm going to show you how it's all your fault, right? Can you attract women without sacrificing your identity? So ladies, a lot of times, like, this is what ladies do to fuck themselves up. Y'all talk about like love language and that goofy ass shit, how he has to learn how to love you properly and all this goofy shit. And what you have to understand is that however a man loves you is based on his own unique identity. However he loves you, right? So there's no such thing as a man loving you wrong. He's loving you the best way he can, based on how he doles out love. Every man receives and doles out love differently, right? So when you want a man to, quote unquote, love you properly and learn your love language, you're asking him to change his identity to make you happy. So what happens is, ladies, some men, well, no, most men, what the fuck I say some for? 99% of these motherfuckers will do that. They'll compromise. They'll take you out to places they normally don't frequent because they know you like it. They'll do things like buy you flowers, even though they're not the kind of guy that do that, but because you like it, they'll do that, ladies. So what happens is, guys, they'll do the things you like. They'll win you over, quote unquote. But because it's not in their identity to do that, they're going to be inconsistent with those things they're doing for you. So they're going to revert back to who they really are. So when women ask you to change, guys, they're really asking you, change back to that guy who compromised himself for me to begin with.
Exactly. And that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted to say. That's a great point. Okay. That's what I wanted to say, that I don't know how she became your girlfriend not knowing who you really were, because if she knew who you really were and she didn't like that person, how did she become your girlfriend?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like these shout out to Lucario, because he got the new program on shoplucario.com about the vetting process, how to master the vetting process. This is what the vetting process is about. This is why I tell you guys that the vetting process is not just about you testing the woman and putting her through the ringer. You have to also vet yourself in staying consistent to make sure that the man that you truly are makes sense to get with this woman. A lot of you guys, you fuck all the way up, right? Because you act like somebody totally different at the beginning. And then when you've fucked her enough and the pussy is not exciting and the desire that you once had doesn't make her special. Like what I was talking about in the beginning of the show, all of a sudden now that desire that you had is not as intense. So now she's not special. So now you're like, yeah, all of that bullshit that I used to do, all of that flossing at the club, getting my hair cut every 2 days to stay fresh, and all of this shit that I used to do, flashing money and looks money status, and all of the dumb shit that I used to do, I'm chilling on that because she's not special anymore. And then that's when she's going to start looking at you funny, like, oh, what's the matter? You're a narcissist. Why are you acting like this? Why did you change? Why did you do this? Why did you do that? And then the crazy part is you don't even realize that you have compromised your identity. You don't even realize that you did a whole bunch of fake shit in the beginning to bring her in. Now you're doing a whole bunch of, now you're doing the shit that you usually do. And now you're getting mad at her for getting mad at you. You see what I'm saying? It's fucking crazy.
And the fucked up thing about it, Miles, a lot of times women don't even realize that they're doing it. It's inadvertent, right? Because they think, oh, I just want what I want. He wants what he wants. I want what I want. So when they do things, they don't understand that because women are addicted to the feeling of things. They want to feel a certain way when they deal with certain men. So a lot of times when they try and get men to do things, it's with the anticipation of trying to capture that feeling that they want to feel, right? Whatever it is, like even if a woman is not sexually attracted to you and you try to offer a date and she says, I don't like that date, can we do this instead? There's a feeling that she's chasing with that other date choice. She's trying to get you to do that for her, right? So guys got to understand, again, women, they have this feeling, and she right here, Lady Sam, a woman, she says, women have their ideal lover in their mind, hence the expectation placed on men to change. So, and she's right. Women have this fantasy of how they would like their relationships to be, right? So sometimes, this is why sometimes women will go out of their way without even realizing it. They'll try and tell you how to date them in some cases because they want there's a particular feeling that they want, right? And this is why it's important that you be consistent from out the gate. So if that woman actually is fucking with you, she's fucking with you based on you, not fucking with you based on her ideal of you. There's a difference, but y'all got it.
Yeah, my buddy goes to that every time, man. He works out continuously. One of those religious workout dudes. And every time he meets a girl, she starts to work out, but then she tries to get him to cut his workouts.
Oh shit! That's
right.
crazy.
So, and he noticed a long time ago. Go ahead, man. Go ahead. He noticed a long time ago that one time he did stop. Kind of like dialed it back. And she only did it pretty much to set her importance in his life. He knew he did that consistently. It was every day, I'm working out, I'm eating like this.
Right.
And of course, okay, I'll work out with you. Well, can we do this? Can we do that? Can we, all right. And you realize, man, you don't really want to do this. You just want me to not work out. You're trying to break what I do consistently to set up yourself to be the most consistent thing. And he got rid of her and was like, I go to work out. That's it.
That's great.
He gets it every time he meets somebody new that they try to set their precedents and try to break whatever you got most consistently that you do. They're going to try to ask to do something different just to see if you would. And we all know women will test you just for that. They will test you. So,
and then what happened is she will like the attention, the increased attention she's getting because he's no longer working out. But my bad. I forgot we had a call. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, 980. You're on live with the Manhood is a Skill Set show. Name, age, city. How can we help you?
Hey, what's up, panel? This is Israel 26, Atlanta. What's going on?
Israel, what's going on with you, bro? How you been?
Oh, man, it's been great, man. I'm about to get ready to dip up out of, Georgia in a few days. Everything's moving the schedule. So, life is looking great, prim and proper. But
that's what's good, man.
Appreciate it. I just wanted to, share, a few things I learned in the game from our teachers and coaches, Miles and Lucario, and Kay Zagan as well, too. So, first, the core confidence that you guys talk about is not, I look at it as, in a boxing match. If you shoot a jab or a hook, but has no power behind it, then it's not going to do any damage. So it's like when you're talking to women, it's like what you guys said earlier, that you could say the slick and, fly stuff, but, if it doesn't actually hold any weight, if you say it in a shy, passive manner instead of a bold and confident and self-assured manner, then, women are not going to feel it, no matter how cool it sounds, number one. Number two, the way I look at women now, and this is what actually really helped me not even put them on a pedestal anymore, is, how you see movie trailers that seem like it's going to be good, but then when you see the actual movie, it's like, man, this shit sucks. this kind of goes with the vetting process. So it's like when I see
the
that
best part was the trailer. Go ahead, man.
Oh, I'm sorry, what was that?
No, I was gonna say the best part of the movie was the trailer. But go ahead.
Bingo. Exactly. It's like the woman's look is the trailer. So when I see that, I'm like, okay, the trailer looks good, but now let's see, I go to the box office, now I watch the movie. But if I see, before even finishing the movie, if I see that the movie is not worth shit, then I bounce. So it's like, damn, like you said, Miles, you could never be, upset, but only disappointed by a chick. So it's like, you saw a good trailer, but then it's like the movie's like didn't live up to the hype, and there's a lot of that nowadays. And last but not least, grit. Like the game, if it's one thing it'll teach you is grit. I'm talking about like it's easy for people to feel confident, and this is just in life, not just women. It's easy to feel confident when you have X amount of dollars in the bank, when you have got a new job or you're getting chicks here and there. But what happens to that confidence when things aren't going your way? Because just the past week, and mind you, I just moved out of my apartment and everything yesterday, but I'm here chilling with my pops for Father's Day. Everything was literally trying to derail me, but you know what? I said to myself, wait a minute. My identity is that no matter how shit tough gets, I don't like to do things when the timing is always right or waiting for the stars to align with, the Venus, Mercury, retrograde bullshit, whatever they talk about. No, I do it because that's who I am. Like, shit has to get done. And, that's part of, being a man, which means that doing what needs to be done regardless.
Thanks.
So it's like, and the game actually rewards you. It tests to see, like, okay, motherfucker, do you really want to be? Are you really about that Mac life? All right, let me test it. It's basically gonna put your foot to the fire, and if you can keep going, then that's when you're really gonna get to that stage. So, shout out to K Zagan, Miles, and Lucario. You guys got me right, and yeah, man. I mean, all I can say is thank you, and I'm never gonna stop with this shit. Like, it's till the day I die, and even in the next life, I get reincarnated. So,
Right.
Appreciate it,
bro.
Appreciate you.
Absolutely. So you guys take care and be easy.
All right, man. Safe travels. Good luck with everything moving out of Atlanta, man. All right.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Take it easy, brother.
And appreciate the call. Are we going on calls right now, Miles?
Yeah, we get on calls.
Okay, we got some questions. Let me just say this real quick. Once you actually learn who you are and you learn to accept who you are, assuming you like yourself. Now, guys, if you don't like certain things about yourself, then you need to change those things, right? It's okay to look in the mirror and say, I don't like that I'm emotional. I'm too emotional. I don't like that I get angry too quick, or whatever the fuck it may be, right? And just change those things. But here's the thing, guys. I assure you, I promise you, once you learn to love yourself, there will be women who will love that about you. Because that matters. And look, let me say this, and I think L may have said this. When you deal with women, whether you're casually dealing with women or you are actually in a long-term relationship with women, women go through bouts of insecurity all the time. Okay, women are not just secure women throughout their whole life. No, they go through bouts where they're secure, bouts where they don't feel so secure, all the fucking time. So when you're dealing with women, if you're the type of guy where you also go through bouts of insecurities, you and that woman are going to have problems in your relationships. You're going to have problems with women. This is why it's very, very important that you're confident in who you are and you communicate that to women effectively and consistently, right? Because you got to be the guy that brings order to her chaotic life. And the fact that she's an emotional, insecure creature means she's going to have chaotic days. But if you are constantly changing up who you are to try and be what she wants you to be, yeah, that's what she wants you to be today. Next week, she needs you to be somebody different. You going to keep switching up?
A lot of guys do. That's the sad part. A lot of guys do keep switching up, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, they continue to do that shit. And again, the shout out to Lucario with the vetting process. Like, that's why it takes so long. Because there needs to be a level of consistency, period. And it's the man's identity that dictates everything moving forward and the following. So if the woman is not actually, if she's not into who you are for real from the beginning, then none of the rest of it makes any sense. And that's what a lot of guys don't understand. And I think the part that makes it so crazy is that most guys don't like who they are.
That's
Do
true.
you understand? And the only time they begin to like who they are is when they find a woman that's attracted to them. So like what you were saying earlier, Mr. Justin, the fact that you're trying to attract a woman is like, that's a part of your problem, because you are trying to get with a woman, not because having a chick would be nice, but because you feel that there's something missing from your life. And that's
a problem.
You're coming into the situation with a losing mindset, right? You're trying to, again, like I was saying earlier, I would love to drive a Lamborghini, but that's not because there's a Lamborghini missing from my life. No, my life is 100% dope. But if I was driving a Lamborghini, it would just be a little bit better. Do you get what I'm saying? But if I never actually drive a Lamborghini, I will still be happy with my life, because I just love to drive. So I'm grateful for the car that I have now. You see what I'm saying? So I'm a complete person when it comes to my desires. But if I want anything, it's to make it a compliment, not a supplement. Like, I'm not missing anything from my life, and I'm grateful for what's going on in my life. So to say that I need anything else is a mistake. I might want it, but I don't need it. And a lot of men come from a place where it's like they need a woman in their life, and if they don't get the woman, then it's kind of like that whole thing where back in the day. Earlier on YouTube, a lot of guys used to debate confidence, and a lot of guys' argument would be, how do I have confidence if nobody tells me that I'm good, or if nobody tells me anything that gives me confidence? And so like me and Lucario would do these shows, and then dudes would be in the comments talking about confidence. Where you get confidence from? And confidence is bullshit, because if nobody gives you anything to be confident about, how could you be confident? You see what I'm saying? So it's real crazy, man.
I think one of the biggest things that I feel is this world has, because there's a lot of technology, because there's a lot of things built, a lot of things are kind of easy. Laziness is in forefront of a lot of guys that don't know how to work. And I'll tell you this: if they have a problem with a vetting process and sustaining a vetting process for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, whatever their vetting process is, just think how long it takes to build a identity, the consistency, the work it takes if it was not naturally in you. I realized that part of my identity being built was built when I was younger. It was over years of having my eyes open and learning things. Luckily, having men around me to say, you sure you want to do that? I had uncles that be like, you sure you want to do that? All right, let's see how it works out. Right. So, how do you feel now? Would you feel better if you did it your way in the first place? To let me go through some stuff. And I had guys around me where we kind of held each other accountable on certain levels to kind of help twerk, and you are influenced by people around you. And so, good or bad. And so you build that parts of an identity. I can't say completely, but parts of it, until you really, really become aware of, okay, I'm taking this out. You ever see like a mad scientist when he gets some junk of stuff and he's like, okay, I'll take this out. I could use this. And so that's what you're doing with yourself, to build yourself. Nobody can build you, to build yourself. And if it takes that long to build yourself, why wouldn't you have a process that's equally longer on somebody that you're allowing somebody to come close to you, that's going to be next to you, to influence you a little bit? And I think that it's just the work. They don't know. They want it now. I want it now. I don't want to wait.
Well,
I'll jump to this
guys have been. This is why the red pill, MGTOW, and all of them exist. They believe that I take care of the woman's needs and wants and desires first, and then I get mine's met after. Right? That's many guys move that way. I take care of her first, give her what she wants on the front end, and then she'll be so appreciative and gracious, right, of what I'm doing, because I'm so thoughtful with my actions, that I'll get what I want on the back end. And then what happens is guys are waking up and realizing that's not what's happening, which is why they're complaining. And they're complaining about women, and what they don't realize is, why were you listening to women to begin with? Well, and let me just say this real quick. The foundation for any healthy relationship between a man and a woman, whether it's a casual relationship or something more meaningful and longer, the foundation begins with the man, not the woman. The foundation for a healthy, well-balanced relationship starts with the man. If you meet a woman on shaky ground, your foundation is compromised. And it will fall eventually. Right? Yeah, it's going good now because the sex is new, everything is new. Right? Y'all wonder why all you serial monogamists out there. You wonder why. You got relationships that last 4 or 5 months, a year. Then you got another relationship, 4 or 5 months, a year, another relationship. Because, and it starts with the guy. You got guys that have no vetting process. Shout out to Miles and Lucario. So your whole foundation of being a man and how you structure your relationships and cultivate your interaction with women is non-existent. It's shaky. Y'all got it.
Yeah, and that foundation isn't really what you do, right? That's like the next step. Like the foundation is who he is. So if that's fucked up, then everything that he does is going to be an extension of that fucked upness. So like, for example, I hear guys like, wanting to control the whereabouts of the girl that they're with. All right. And that's fine. Okay. Like whatever, it is what it is. But if he's doing it out of fear because he's afraid of losing her, or afraid that she's going to do this, or afraid she's going to do that, he's afraid of other dicks or whatever, then that means any rules or structure that he creates is based around that fear. So he's now leading out of fear of receiving pain. That's his program. His program is based around prevention of pain for himself.
Yep.
And that's why he's reaching and grasping for control. So the foundation really, it comes down to him and him only. It's like, and this stuff takes time, right? It really, really does, because you'll like solid things move slowly. You know what I'm saying? Like if you look at anything that's like big and heavy, like even mountains, right? You look at like the Himalayas, they actually move. Right, the tectonic plates are shifting, everything's moving a little bit, but the bigger, heavier things are, the slower they move. You look at elephants, they move very slow. In comparison to like a field mouse, they're super quick. You look at cockroaches, they're super fast, right? So the bigger, more solid, more foundational you are, the slower things move. Right? You don't make hasty decisions. You don't move quickly. You're not erratic.
Exactly.
My training for women to decide whether she's worth taking on takes months before I say, okay, this is worth more of my time. This is worth my commitment, right? Because I have to make everything certain that it's like, okay, there's consistencies involved that match with my slow movement, right? And it's not her erratic behavior that makes me shift into her erratic behavior. That's not going to happen, right? Like, can she slow down and adhere or not? Exactly. So it takes a long time. And these guys, like what you were saying, it's like they just jump headlong and they're like, okay, let me fulfill all these things, and then if I do this, then I'll get the outcome I'm looking for. It's like, no, the outcome you're looking for is a long development process.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Exactly. And shout out to Gabe Owners. I don't know if we did this in one earlier. It's older. With the 199 super chat, she's wingman for the dude. He's talking about the gay situation, the gay dude with the chick.
Right.
Real quick. I think we got all the super chats. You guys, we got some questions. If y'all don't mind, let me jump to them and shit. Are we good on calls right now, Miles?
Yeah, we're good on calls. Guys, call in 844-672-7300, 844-672-7300. Go ahead and call in. We got about a half hour left, guys, so don't wait too long.
Justin, that's why I always like that the statement, me versus me.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes, because at the bottom line is, you should be the most influencing yourself and challenging and learning and growing and solidifying in things. It's not you versus these women. It's not you versus society. It's you versus you. Because as a grown individual, you are the judge, the jury on what influences you, what's going to be permanent, and what are you going to move on from.
All right, so let's get to this question. Appreciate that, homie. All right, so he says, I've been hooking up with this woman for over a year now. However, the last time we smashed, she said she never wanted this to end. I'm afraid she might be falling in love. How can I slow her down? So what? She said she never wanted this to end. Okay, and what's wrong with her saying that?
She's allowed to feel how she feels.
Yeah, like guys, women are allowed to feel how they feel, and they are allowed to express those feelings to you. So as long as they're not disrespectful. Now, the moment that her feelings, when she starts to act on her feelings and it starts to become a disruption to you, then that's when you need to address it. But if she's just talking, bro, you know how many chicks I had tell me, I think I'm falling in love with you, and I tell them, hey, I don't want to hear that shit again. I don't love you, and we just keep it pushing. Well, what's the problem? But y'all got it.
Yeah, I mean, like that's to be expected, right?
Exactly.
Like why
you should expect women to fall in love with you do that, dude.
Why wouldn't she?
I think this is a clear shot over the bow to, check what you're doing. She's staying in the bed a little bit longer after your interactions. She's staying over the house a little bit longer.
Yeah.
You letting her stay the night. Like, this is that shot right here where it should wake you up and make you reevaluate. Like, hold on, what am I doing? What am I doing?
Yeah, a lot of guys be cuddling for way too long.
That's a very good point.
What we started doing. So there ain't no way you should be falling in love with what we just doing. Yeah. So,
but even then, a woman, guys, and all y'all know this.
Yeah, she's
doing. A woman is supposed to be like this. She's supposed to be like, I'm so glad I met you. I feel so fortunate you're here. She's supposed to be like that with you. Like,
right, which asks like, so this sounds to me like this feels like uncertainty or a burden to him. Like he doesn't understand how to manage, right? And this is with a lot of things that come from women when it comes to their emotions, whether it's their joy, whether it's their desire, whether it's their love, whether it's their anger, their sadness, any kind of emotion. Typically the ones that may seem unpleasant to the guy, and in this case it's her love, which is kind of weird. He doesn't understand how to deal with it, and that's more of the problem than her actual feelings. That like she's gonna feel what she's gonna feel, doesn't matter what the emotion is. But to me here, this is saying I don't know how to, this is uncomfortable to me and I don't know how to manage it. And that's the real question of like, what should I do to manage the situation so that everybody's all right?
There you go. All right, so we're gonna move on to the next joint. We still good on calls, Miles?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, so all right, so he says, since most people don't have game, is it detrimental to socialize? First of all, having game has nothing to do with women. As far as you socializing, you should want to socialize simply because you are an enjoyer of life. You like to live. And socializing with people doesn't necessarily mean just talking to women. Like you can just socialize with anybody, right? It's not about trying to have sex with women all the time. And let me just say this about socializing. Guys, if the only time you socialize with women is when you're trying to fuck them, you're going to struggle. let me say that shit again. I need you guys to understand this. If the only time you interact or socialize with women is when you're trying to fuck them, you're going to struggle and you wonder why you're not fucking. Yeah, I got it, man.
I feel you. I feel this guy in this question, Joseph. I understand where you're coming from. I feel like a lot of guys, we always say that the game ain't about women, but then we always have titles. Can you attract women without sacrificing identity? And women comes up a lot, and women this and women that. And I could only tell you guys that, you got this onion, you got this ball, or you got whatever. And on the outer shell is always about this women, because that's where you guys are at. And so the titles and the discussions go there. And then we have to try to peel back this onion or break open this ball to this little seed, or the fruit with the little seed in the middle where you are at. So peeling that back, it always comes back to you. So it might start there, but understanding that, trying to open it up so you guys can see that ain't where you need to be at. You need to be more at that seed to understand your own identity and to go from there. So.
Yep.
All right.
Miles, were you going to say something?
Oh, no. I'm good. Guys, call in 844-672-7300.
I would just say that the question, is it detrimental to socialize? Like, if I make it sarcastic, it becomes pretty obvious. Like, nah, bro, don't talk to people. Don't socialize for like 10 years and see how that works out for you.
There you go. That's me.
I want to say, just to say something real quick. I think what he meant was, because when he said detrimental, I think he was saying, the words he wanted to use was either critical or he was kind of asking if socializing was required. So detrimental wasn't really the right word there, I don't think.
Mm-hmm. He's like, you can't. No, you can't get what you want without interacting with people.
Yeah, it's critical.
Like, that's what life is about.
Exactly.
But part of you understanding your identity is understanding your relatability to others, and your interaction with others. Your interactions with others teach you things about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, especially with women and actually fucking. And here's the thing about women: you do not have to have sex with women to learn shit. When it comes to dealing with women, right? There's a lot of shit I learned about dealing with women, and I ain't touched them. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes you just observe shit, and you can learn a lot by observing and just paying attention to shit. All right, but let's get to this next joint right here. So he says, "How do you keep a woman from asking so many questions when they like you without being rude?" See, first of all, the fact that you're worrying about being rude is why you struggle. Guys, shout out to Boss Mac. He said, "Do you have the heart to be ruthless?" I'm gonna tell y'all right now. When it comes to dealing with women, women are very ruthless. And I'm not saying this to disparage or demean women in any way. I'm telling you the truth. Women are very, very vicious and ruthless out here when it comes to certain men. You have to be ruthless. And by that, I don't mean you have to be malicious or mean to women. When I say you have to be ruthless, meaning there are going to be women who think you're mean, but not because you're actually mean, because you have boundaries and you tell people no, or you tell people about themselves. Just because a woman asks you a question doesn't mean you have to answer it. And another reason women are asking you questions is because you guys don't know how to lead a conversation, right? Get to your fucking point of what you want. And when a woman asks you something that you don't feel is required for the conversation, you simply redirect her back to the task. But because you're worried about being rude, you're like, how can I be nice and tell this shit to shut the fuck up? Sometimes you might have to tell her, be quiet. You fucking up the mood. You might have to tell her that. But y'all got it.
It depends on what the questions are. Like, like there's so many like context variables missing in this question. If it's just asking so many questions in general when they like you, that's what happens when what people do when they like you.
Yeah, that's a bunch of
like, it doesn't matter like who it is. Like it doesn't matter who it is. You're interested in a certain something. You inquire more information about that certain something. Like, that's pretty natural. And if that's making you feel standoffish or whatever, making you feel uncomfortable, I'm wondering, well, what are you afraid of? Yeah. Are you hiding something? Are you embarrassed about something? Do you not want this person to find out about you? And so that's kind of what it leads me to. Like, all of this stuff, asking about other people, is just an indication of the person who's asking the question. That's really all this stuff is. So it's like, well, why does that make you uncomfortable? Like, who gives a fuck? Let her ask. Now, what you do with those questions, going back to what Zag was talking about, that's really what's important. Because if you understand where you want to go in terms of the conversation, the interaction, what you want from it, and all that bullshit, then that comes down to your way with words. Are you able to redirect, to have her say certain something, and then you change what that is? I mean, Steve talks about this a lot, about flipping and reorganizing and redirecting everything toward the direction that you want to go.
Exactly.
So if you're not doing that, then you're just being a passive interaction, or you're a passive person in the interaction.
And also, real quick, Jay, I just want to say that this goes back to the previous question, which is why it's detrimental or critical, or it's required for you to actually interact with people so you can get practice on how to deal with this without being rude. Go ahead, Jay.
No, when I read the question, it instantly made me think to this one girl. I mean, she was asking questions just one after another. Like, did you grow up with your parents? Did you, just like, and I had to tell her, hold on, for the next question, I'm about to see a badge. You're just rattling off questions, like, hey, let's just relax a minute. Like, I'm feeling interrogated, like the light is on me. And then, she's like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm just a naturally curious person, and I was just like, okay, well, I'm a natural person for things to flow naturally, but the way you're asking them, I said, nobody's told you this. The way you ask questions is a bit interrogating. And so, we went from there, and
most guys won't tell her that. CJ Roman, you said no one has told you this. Most guys won't.
Yeah, I mean, she was rattling them off. Did you grow up with all your, were they like what? Like, no. Like, we're not asking this. So, sometimes you got to be direct and go from there. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with or rude to say, hey, there's a lot of questions to answer right now. Let's go for this one.
And to your point, Jay Roman and Mr. Justin said it as well. There are certain times when women ask questions out of sheer curiosity. There's no harm. They're just asking questions. Now, when women start asking probing, very detailed oriented questions, like, where did you go for, like, if she asks you what you do for a living, I work in insurance. So what is your title exactly? Okay, now it's a problem, right? Because she's asking probing questions that really have nothing to do with nothing. But a woman asking you curiosity style type questions, don't sweat that. But when she starts asking you probing, very detailed questions, she's seeking intel for a reason. So there's a difference between a woman being curious and she's seeking intel for some other reason that you might not be aware of. So, but again, it goes back to, if she's asking you questions, like, bottom line, guys, rule of thumb, if all you want to do is smash, if she is asking you questions that have nothing to do with smashing, don't answer them. What's the problem?
Well, you could always easily redirect that stuff, right?
Exactly.
Because if you understand what's going on, okay, so why would she be probing, right? She's probing to see if you're a decent enough guy, or if you're going to hurt her, or if you're a piece of shit, or something like that, okay? So you can address that, right? So you just say, is that really the question you want to ask? Aren't you really curious if I'm the guy who's going to lead you properly?
Right. Is that really what you want to find?
Right. So now you get it into discussing like the actual interaction between the two of you, not what she's saying on the surface. Right. So you pierce that bullshit and you go right to the core of the conversation that's happening under the surface.
Exactly. But the problem is, if you're scared of losing out on an opportunity to fuck, which is a lot of you guys, that's what you're really worried about. So a lot of you guys, and Jay Roman, you said you asked a chick. No one has ever told you this? No. Because guys let her get away with it because they want to fuck. So they just and what happened, this is what happens a lot of times. Guys will put up with shit from women because they want to fuck. But after they fuck a couple times and they get bored of the sex, they'll start to peel away. Right? And that happens to a lot of chicks because guys aren't being honest about what they really want, and they give women the impression that they care about what they're talking about. And y'all don't give a fuck about where she grew up at. No, you don't. You don't care.
Or how many brothers.
You don't even care. You don't even care what her name is. Let's be honest. A lot of y'all, if y'all could fuck a chick without exchanging names, you would. You would. Let's be honest. But go ahead, y'all got it.
But I do believe, though, guys, you need to ask certain questions. Yeah. Because next thing you know, you wind up messing with some chick living in the same apartment as you.
Yeah.
But she knows it. You know.
Don't
I have
don't mess with neighbors. Don't mess with neighbors.
Walk down the steps and go into a different apartment. Jesus, I didn't know.
Real quick, Jay Bizzle with the 1999. He said this show have the most game. Much love. All the show got game, fam. All the shows got game.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it on the questions. Another guy asked
there was a guy something about love.
Saying,
there was a question in there about love.
Damn it, Mr. Justin. Damn it. All right, you go ahead. I'm gonna give it to you then. What are ways to tell she loves? I was trying to avoid this question, but go ahead. Go ahead, Mr. Justin.
No, this one's great. This one's great. because it again, like I said, the questions are not really about the question or answering the questions. It's about who's asking them, why they're asking it.
Right.
And so this to me is saying is asking about the guy being loved, and then that's leading me to ask, why are you concerned about the woman loving you? Why is that a concern of yours? Right. And then that goes into, well, is there a hole in your life? Is there something about yourself that you're seeking the love from a woman that you're not supplying on your own? So this question is actually really, really deep. Sorry, on an individual level. It's like, why are you even looking at that shit in the first place? Why are you seeking this feeling from a woman? Like, if she's gonna love you, she's gonna love you. Like, whatever. That to me says that your cup is not full of self, and you're looking for ways in which you can determine that a woman is loving you, so that you can top off your cup.
Let me say this, and I want guys to understand this, and I promise you, it's the truth. There's no woman on this planet that can love you as much as you love yourself or more. Period. So for all you guys that are seeking to be loved by a woman, you're literally asking for a woman to bring you something that there's already an abundance of inside of you. Right? It's already there, right? There's love. All you gotta do is just love yourself. So the mere fact, and women are guilty of this too, right? We'll just say human beings. We're not even going to break it down for man or woman. We'll just say both. Both individuals are guilty of going out in the world seeking to be loved by a stranger. I just want y'all to understand how fucked up that is, for you to sit around your home on the internet and you're making posts or you're talking about finding love. You literally want a stranger to bring something to your world. How lonely are you to even think like that? No, serious. How fucking lonely and desperate are you because you think if someone can love me, there will be something in my life worthy of me being excited about.
Right.
It's fucked up, but y'all got it.
Well, there's a loneliness epidemic, they say. I don't know how true it is, but they say it's out here.
That's because society has built,
that's real.
All these walls for, have walls, don't talk to people, but you need this human interaction. Human interaction is something I think that people are craving, and social media is it. Anyway, that's a whole nother thing to go down. I don't.
Hold on, Justin. I heard you say that the loneliness epidemic is real. Can you go further?
Well, I think it has to do. It's only a certain demographic of guys, and if you look at the age groups that they're talking about in the articles, it's age groups of men who have been raised on the internet. We internet men are not feeling this, right? Because we supplied our social batteries with other people in real life.
We have real connections.
When the whole thing started, I go back to the beginning of MySpace. Right? And how Instagram started as just a photo sharing app. It started with likes. It started with the likes and the thumb up, and that became currency for self-validation. And it was just on photos. But then when these platforms turned into extensions of identity, then that's when the likes started having a greater and greater value. Now you take that system and you raise somebody up in it as this extension of your identity is just part and parcel for existing. Now
social currency.
Right. Now you have this person who has this part of their identity, and it becomes extremely valuable. And when there's not a lot of people liking what you have out there, this portion of your identity,
you know what it is?
It becomes
it's the popular kid in
important.
high school. It's a popularity thing. It's like the popular kid in high school. People with all the likes and Instagram followers, you're the popular person on social media.
Right. So it becomes extremely potent when someone likes your identity online. And so for someone who's raised in that, it becomes a really pivotal thing for how they feel about themselves. And so you have somebody raised in this, and they're not getting what they need. They become feeling very lonely and detached. All the while, all this sort of technology and social media presence, it it encourages us to stay locked in that world rather than interacting with other people in real life. So if that's your only source and you're not getting what you need from it, then you get the loneliness.
See,
I can see that. Yeah, appreciate that.
That's your VC character, the guy that pretends he thinks he knows how to play basketball only because he plays it on 2K.
Right.
In the social world, they have a whole social platform in 2K, and cats pay money to build a character to play fake basketball on this video game, and it is serious.
Yeah,
it is serious. So
they take it very, very real. People, they're on Omegle, they're on, other forms of just interacting with people online. And they're like, yeah, I've got friends. And it's like, yeah, but that's just some dude, his handle on like Call of Duty, and you've been playing for the past 3 years.
He lives in Japan or
right.
South
He's
Korea.
not going to help you move your couch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
and to your point,
saying that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just you saying that, Justin, for me, I always think back to the responsibility of men, right? And especially men who have a tribe they take care of. And to make sure for men who have responsibilities that your kids grow up where this social media world is not their only influence in this world. There should be stuff that you should be aware of in teaching your kids that don't mean nothing. Like that little like or that little whatever on social media when you grow
it's
up.
Fake.
It doesn't mean anything. And so, that's your responsibility, if you have little ones in this world, to be balanced, to grow up in a certain way. So
it's tough. It's tough though, because they design these things with precision in order to produce dopaminic responses. So once that starts happening, there becomes an addiction to the dopamine. It's just like for people who get addicted to, say, like cocaine or MDMA, ecstasy, that sort of stuff, where are drugs that force open the dopamine receptors. After a while, it requires more and more of those drugs in order to achieve the same level of dopamine hit. So that's where you get people addicted to these things. And then there's this call and response, this whole like like how I train girls, like with the Pavlov type methods. You do this thing, you get this sort of response, right? And the next thing you know, the dog is drooling every time they hear the bell and they don't even get a treat. It's the same sort of thing. So the behavior starts being trained. If I do this thing, then I get this positive response. And then they just do that same thing just to get the more and greater dopamine hits. And so, like, if you guys want, there was a documentary about this not too long ago called The Social Dilemma. It was on Netflix for a while, and the developers were coming out. The developers were coming out, and they're saying, we had no idea that it would have this kind of effect, and my own kids are fucking addicted to it, and I don't know what to do.
No, Justin, I got a 5-year-old. Check this out. He can pick up my phone. He can go into any app. He'll go into YouTube. He will go and find his video. He'll go to history and say, I think I watched it a couple of days ago in the history. 5. He'll go to multiple apps, go to different things, and just I'll be looking at him, and then he'll pick up my phone, and if it's locked, he'll say, can you tell me the password to your phone, Dad? And he's ready to put it in. I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna tell you that. Give me that motherfucker, right? But that's what I'm saying. So to your point, is they grow up on electronics. Now I take my kids outside. Matter of fact, I'm going next week. I'm gonna have them at the beach. But my point is this: they grow up on social media, and the only interactions they have is online. They have no social skills. They don't go out. They don't socialize. And they have unrealistic expectations of how it's going to be with women. Like, I literally have guys that don't talk to women on a regular basis. They think a consultation or two is going to all of a sudden just transform them into overnight players. And my thing is, bro, it's going to take you a long time to even get to the point where women enjoy your company. All that other shit, it's going to take a while before you get there. But because they have no social skills, they don't understand how to have regular conversations with women. Just regular conversations. Real quick, I'll give you an example. And I use this example all the time. I always tell guys, do you work with women? Right? If you're in college or do you have class with women? And I say, okay, are you attracted to any of these women? Sometimes it's no. All right, cool. The women that you are not attracted to, when you first met them, how was your conversations? Oh, nothing, man. I was talking to them very easily, right? The conversation is very fluid because you're not thinking about fucking them. That's why you can chill and you can relax. When you meet a woman that you are attracted to and your hormones start going, now all of a sudden you can't talk, you can't relax, right? And it's putting sex on a pedestal. And these women are not important like that. Women, I don't want y'all to get all in your feelings. Women are important to themselves, to their family members, and to anyone who care about them. But I'm saying for you guys, when y'all meet these random strange women, they should not be that important where you're literally taking your identity, putting it to the side, and just saying some shit that you think is going to get you through the conversation.
Right.
Yep. I got it, man.
So with the social media and what you're saying, Zag, like I got a youngster too, and ever since we go out, I'll make him order his own food. I don't talk for him. So the waitress comes up and says, what do you want? And this is what I want. He reads off what he wants. When we go places, shake hands, say hello. Don't just go in there and order ice cream. Say hello. How you doing?
Yeah.
Talk to the person real quick. So keeping that social aspects. And I think that, the responsibility of men is, if you have like this tribe, you have to raise them and teach them how to be, socially, so that interaction is real and not just on a screen. So just your responsibilities. Like my son can't be on any screen too long.
No. You got to.
Yeah, I do the same thing with my son.
Balance is a big thing for me, and I tell them, hey, what have you done educational wise today? What have you done, fun wise? What have you done exercise wise? You ride your bike? Did you let's go ride this bike. Let's go do this. So we do it in a certain way where it's like I teach them like, hey, it's okay to do things in this society, but have a balance. It's not all to be all. You can't spend all your day playing this game. You can't spend all your day outside. Did you cut the grass? Did you pick the weeds up? He has responsibilities and always have. And so I really believe we talk about game, but for men with the tribe, you have to start teaching your children game at a young age.
Early. But before they even start walking, you teaching them.
Learn how
you can teach a child before they start walking. Yeah. But to your point, Jay, I make my kids go outside. Also, I provide materials like arts and crafts so they can be creative. You know what I'm saying? Here's the thing. You got to remember, and we're raising young men, right? Because a lot of young men in this age, they move around. It's almost like hopeless, right? Because they zombies. They don't know how to critically think. They don't know how to think outside of the box, and they tend to group think. Right? They tend to all kind of think alike and go along to get along. And I think that's dangerous as well. Going along to get along, right? You know what I'm saying? Just kind of, all right. Like a real quick example is when guys get under like a Facebook post, and it's mostly women in there. You will have guys that will make a post like, hey man, you got to be careful. Women might not like that you have that opinion. And it's like, why are you tap dancing around what a woman thinks? Right. And I think a lot of guys do that as well. They're worried about being ostracized, or they're worried about being ganged up on by women.
Right.
Oh, I can't say what I really feel because they're all going to get mad at me. One is going to say something, then they're all going to gang up. I wish the bitches would. I wish they would.
And
gotta go ahead, man.
To connect what you're saying, Kay, to what Justin was saying, is like the system of likes makes everybody so deathly afraid of not being liked, or to ruffle feathers, or to upset someone. That again, and then so that coupled with the thing that I desire being more special than I am, right? The whole thing of seeing the picture on Instagram and then hitting the like button. So you're giving the power to the object of your desire. As you subconsciously drain it away from yourself is so fucking ridiculous. Like it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, I've heard young guys say, I can't say that because that would mean social death, or the potential of social death.
Or I'm afraid of cancel. I'm afraid of someone canceling me. Like,
right. Yeah. Same idea. Same idea. Like, just canceling just in like a smaller scale. You know, whether it's like amongst friends or peers or social circles or whatever. And this really, what that does is it takes the measuring stick of self-awareness and puts it on the outside. It says, this is what determines what I can do, what I can say, and how I can then see myself. So then the internal becomes this blank slate that then gets written upon by everything else outside of you. And this is a really, really dangerous game to play because the outside is always fluctuating. It fluctuates daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, annually, or like by the decade. It's always going to shift. So you cannot then be in that and make demands and say, oh, well, I should be this way. I should be treated this way. I should be seen this way. You don't have a leg to stand on.
See,
So
right
there has to be that central grounding of who you are. And if it vibes with the changing environment, great. If it doesn't vibe with the changing environment, oh, well, that's just the way it goes sometimes as a man. You have to accept this.
Yep. So to your point, so if you have guys out here, right, who aren't acting in their own best interest, meaning they are switching up at the behest of the woman and doing things at the behest of the woman. So now whatever perception that the woman formed of them is not even a valid one. It's a perception formed on this guy pretending to be a certain way to appease the woman. So now, again, it goes back to what we all alluded to earlier. Now your interaction with this woman is already corrupted. It's already corrupted because you came out the gate diluting yourself, watering down yourself, and hiding sides of yourself that you think wouldn't be acceptable for this woman. So how can you, and speaking of love, how can you ever expect a woman to really fall in love with you if she don't even know you? Because you too afraid to show her yourself, right? And guys think, oh, I can show women, or I can camouflage myself, and then later on when she's more comfortable, I'll show her the real me. Yeah. How's that working out? Y'all got it, man.
Guys, let me see. How much time we got? We ain't really got that much time. All right.
I remember, my I think it's my uncle at the time, really sat me down and taught me friends, associates, people you know, and people you don't know, and how serious that is. Hey, this is my friend. This is my friend. That's your friend. This is my friend. Well, he said, everybody's your friend. I remember even asking me that question one time, like, everybody's your friend, And I had all these people in the basement. We were playing, and I wasn't allowed to have people over the house except certain friends. And so when I got caught, I was like, oh yeah, this is my friend. This is my friend. This is my friend. Oh, all these people your friend? Oh, what's his last name? What's his last name? Tell me his last name. What's his mom's name?
Right.
What's his, and you kind of going through it, and either way, I got in trouble. So, but he sat me down later on. I was like, look, man, there's a difference between friends,
Associates.
people you associates, people and people you don't know. So, never be that guy and went through there. So, I could only imagine the effects it has on social media.
I had that conversation with my 11-year-old because he kept saying friends. I'm like, wait. I said, have you ever been to his house? Nope. You ever met his parents? How the fuck are y'all friends? Yeah, you just know him at school. And then I said, summer is over. Has he hit you up? Nope. Y'all ain't got no plans to kick it during the summer? No parties? He ain't invite you to no summer parties or nothing? Nope. He ain't your fucking friend. He just kind of looked at me like with this dumbfounded look on his face. And I'm like, yeah. He's just someone and y'all are cool as long as school is in. The moment school is out, y'all don't talk.
And that's cool. Hey, that's cool.
And that's cool. It's cool. That's cool too. Yeah. But understand who your friends are. And I know, Miles, I know you talked about this a couple weeks back. When you are a real motherfucker, you probably can count on one hand. You should be able to count on one hand when you say friends. Like, I ain't got that many.
That's a fact.
I know a lot of motherfuckers, though. I know a lot of people.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. A friend is someone who would sacrifice something in order to stand by your side.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
like whatever that is, whether it's their time, their resources, their money, their health, whatever. They're willing to sacrifice something. That's someone that you could consider a friend. And I know, I'm sorry, three people in my life that I would consider my friend based on that criteria.
Yeah, pretty much.
Everybody else is pretty much an acquaintance. You know, and then there's variables within that. You know, there's acquaintances that you trust more than others.
Right.
But still they're in the under the umbrella of acquaintance.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
It's like in that. It's like in that show. You guys see Shogun? If you guys haven't watched the remake of Shogun, fucking hell, that was written so well. And if anyone's ever read the novel, they stuck very, very close to the novel. They just, for some reason, like in the assassin scene, they changed it into a woman instead of a man. I don't know why, but whatever.
Yeah.
But anyways, there was this line in there where the guy was talking about the hearts, and he said, you know, a man has 3 hearts, and he says the first heart is the one that he shows the world. The second heart is the one that he shows to friends, family, loved ones, and the third heart is the heart that he shows to no one. And that's really what it is. And I don't know if it's no one, like, you know what? Actually, yeah, because even my closest friends, they don't get to that third heart. And that's the way you got to understand yourself and operate. Like, so once you kind of internalize that, it gives you a greater sense of who you are, and then a better sense of how to operate in the world.
Yep.
And to your point, when you talk about the third heart, that's for me. So if a woman wants to leave, that's why I say a woman can't take nothing. She can't take nothing with her. Because what's most important to me has always been there. And when she leaves, she can't take it with her. All she can take really is some memorable times in her pussy. That's all she can really take. And I hate to put it like that, but that's how I really feel. All she can really take is some memorable times that we're not going to enjoy ever again. And she's taking her coochie. You know what I'm saying? As far as her love, you know, I still got women that love me that I'm not with no more that tell me motherfucking happy birthday every year for 20 plus years. I'm good, right? I still got the love of women, right? It don't have to be romantic love. I don't have to have a love of a woman who says, I love you so much I want to be with you. I don't need to feel that kind of love. Don't get me wrong. It's a beautiful thing when you know how to cultivate it and it's the right woman that you're fucking with. But as a man, you shouldn't seek that out. You shouldn't go and try and find that, because you're always going to be disappointed. Yeah, I got it.
And because you should have it within.
Exactly.
And with that love question earlier, I don't care if a woman loves me. I prefer if she respects me.
Yeah, exactly.
And that question, I would have rather had that question say, how can you tell if a woman respects you and instead of love? Because
but Jay Roman, they think love
up and down.
They think love is an umbrella and respect is under there. And women do the same thing. A lot of people think that all these different things that are warm and fuzzy fits up under the umbrella of love. If I can find love, all the fucked up things that happen to other people won't happen to me. If all I can do is find that umbrella of love. No, love. You can love somebody and not respect them. Just like you can respect somebody and not love them. They're not mutually inclusive.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, there's people who love each other, fuck each other over constantly.
All the time.
Constantly. Right? I mean, like, if you talk to one person and say, all right, like, do you love your sibling or whatever? You love this person in your family? Like, yeah, of course I do. Then in another context, another part of time within life, there'll be a time when they fuck them over. Or stab them in the back, or manipulate them, or do this or that, and so it's like, yeah, this happens constantly. But think about somebody that you truly respect, and you know, to be fair, there might not be somebody in your life that you truly respect, but someone like a man that you'd be willing to stand side by side with, or if you like look at it like a king sort of era, someone who you'd be willing to drop a knee to in honor, reverence, and respect.
Right.
Would you ever fuck them over? Like that mentality just would not even be within the realm of thought. And that's what happens when someone respects you. They don't even consider the idea, just even the notion is completely foreign.
Exactly.
Yep.
And so you can't be seeking. Well, you shouldn't be seeking respect either, because that's fucking lame as well. But getting respect from a woman is far more valuable than getting her love.
Right.
Far more valuable.
And I think respect from a woman, to me, is built on you respecting your consistency.
Absolutely. Yeah, it always starts with the guy. Everything always starts with the guy.
We got a call?
No. I was just saying it starts with you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But guys,
on that?
Yeah, I just want to plug the soap real quick, guys. Go to Cunningham Elements. Get your soap, get your cologne, your eau de parfum, masculine identity eau de parfum, and also pre-order your shea butter. And as always, respect and thanks to the panel for being here. Shout out Mr. Justin, shout out Jay Roman, and as always, K Zaggin, thanks for having us, man. And man, that has been. Right. Anybody want to plug anything else before we get up out of here?
Justin, you got it.
Yeah, I mean, just check out the dominanceacademy.com. I've got all my stuff on there. There should be a link. I got to check where you can book your free calls. So if you need a consultation to talk about what's going on in your life, you can book a free call, or you just hit me up on Instagram, thedominance.academy.
Facts. Yep. All right, Jay Roman.
No, man, like always, appreciate being on here, Zach. No, I said I appreciate being on here. Last week I was down and out. There's something going around my workplace.
Glad you're back, man.
Yeah, I heard mono was bad out there.
Mono. He's kissing these bitches on the mouth tonight.
Hey. If mono was going around here, my neck might be lit up, but it wouldn't be my lips, man.
His neck might be. You was one of them in high school. You walk around with the hickeys on your neck. You was one of them?
My thing is, kiss me on the neck or something. I wasn't really into. You know how I am with germs, Zach. I didn't catch none of that mono stuff, and my mom was like a germaphobe back in the day. Like you couldn't come into the house wearing your outside clothes. We had outside clothes and inside clothes.
Oh wow!
So, take it off.
My dad wasn't long enough for us to have both and shit.
You know what I'm saying? So,
no.
It was serious though. Outside clothes, inside clothes. So,
No, I feel you, because when you do come out from outside, it smells. Your clothes smell completely fucking different.
That's true.
And then your bed. Go ahead.
And tomorrow, guys, don't forget tomorrow, 12 noon, Real Game No Theory. Shout out to Steve the Dean, Mr. 1950, Mr. Lucario, K Zaggin, and myself will be there 12 noon Eastern time. So make sure y'all come through. All right, check us out.
On the way out, guys, we appreciate y'all coming through. Shout out to Miles Cunningham, Jay Roman, Mr. Justin. Y'all subscribe to these men's channel. Again, Real Game No Theory, 11 o'clock Central, 12 o'clock Eastern. Thank y'all for fucking with us. Like, share, subscribe. We out. Peace.